Good evening, the League of Excellent Extraordinary Negroes. We are here to talk about the House of the Dragon, episodes 3 and 4. My name is Jade.
I'm Carlos Stillwell, aka Carlos Stillwellian. That is my House of Dragons name. #Dim Dragons.
And we are all alone to talk about all the things that we want to talk about.
Those boys left us alone. Girls' night out. Girls' night out.
Yes, Mick is working. Desmond is working. What you gonna do?
You got to make the donuts. They got to make the donuts.
Got to make the donuts. Somebody got to make the donuts. Carla.
Yes.
Favorite medieval movie?
See, I don't have a favorite medieval movie. I have a favorite medieval series.
Oh, do tell.
The Borgias.
Oh, it was Showtime, right?
I believe so. I believe The Borgias was Showtime.
Yeah, they were doing a lot.
Ooh, The Borgias was a lot. But that's anything about the Catholic Church is all right. Any exposure of my Christian home,
yes,
entertains me. So yes, The Borgias was my favorite. The Tudors was also a really good series as well.
Of series, I'd have to say The Tudors is my favorite. Borgias is up there because it was good. What is his name? Jeremy Irons?
Jeremy Irons, yes.
Okay. Wow, where did I pull that out from?
His brilliance. It just came to you.
Yeah, he was good. And all of the people, the children that he had, everything that they're in, that's all I see them as. It doesn't matter what they're doing. That's all I see them as a Borgia. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. That's my favorite though.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I have a favorite. What's your favorite medieval movie?
Excalibur.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't even think hard about that one. It's Excalibur.
Do you know what it is with me and movies? Like the whole thing about that period, that era, I don't feel like I get enough in a movie. I don't feel like I get enough of it. That's why I like the series so much, because you get into the intricacies of the filth of it all.
Although Excalibur was so long.
I've
rewatched it over the years, and it's like, oh my God, this movie is so long. Yeah, no, that's my favorite. And then the Tudors. I do like the Borgias though. Okay, so today, we're talking about House of the Dragon.
#Dim Dragons.
So, the first episode we're going to talk about is episode 3, season 1, second of his name. So I got some of this from IMDb. So Daemon and the sea snake battle the crab feeder. The realm celebrates Aegon's second name day, and some people threw out some very treasonous things, and I thought that was odd. And Rhaenyra faces the prospect of marriage.
Now, can we start calling the battle the crab boil?
Do you want to start with the battle?
No, we can go. Listen, I'm following the notes, but I will be referring to the battle as the royal crab boil.
Because I don't know why, but I actually started with the battle in my composition of pictures, because there was just something about
them dark-skinned Valerians and Corlys's in them with the long white dreaded locks.
Yes, Uncle Corlys.
Uncle Corlys and his brother.
And the brother. I mean, whoever, we've said this before, but whoever is doing the wigs, I mean,
because that does not feel like a wig to me. I feel like I can go up and run my fingers through
right,
that man's dreadlocks.
right,
The
right,
only reason I know it's a wig is because of his other pictures.
right. And it doesn't look so sparse and light that it's just not real. And it doesn't look too heavy.
No,
Somebody took their time and actually looked at what dreadlocks look like.
that because those look like locks.
Ugh.
Oh, and his brother's locks look like those are actually growing out his head, and they just dyed him.
Right. they they really do. Okay, so let's start with these brothers.
So we gonna open with the blackest moment.
You know, I feel like the blackest moment in House of the Dragon. I feel like this is the blackest moment in House of the Dragon.
Ooh.
What was your blackest moment in House of the Dragon episode?
No, it was this. It was this scene.
It was this. Okay.
Because I watched my father and my Uncle Eddie have this fight at least 5 times growing up.
Mm-hmm.
My Uncle Eddie was like, "Rah, you can't tell me what to do. I'm the younger brother." And my father was like, "Oh, you got life confused. And you will do what I tell you to do because you messing up my gangster fool.
Right.
You're an idiot."
Yes.
And it was very familiar to me. It felt very familiar and familial.
Right. And
watching the boys, the brothers and the cousins and the sons stand back there and be like, "Ooh."
Oh yeah, that. So for me, that was the blackest moment right there. The daddy is handling that. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. That
his locks look amazing too.
They do, because they look poofy. They look poofy in the right place.
They're his little starter locks.
He ain't had a retwist in a minute.
Right, because they've been out here at the Royal Crab Boy.
Right.
For 3 years.
Nobody is retwisting right now. And they're short. Yeah, no. Yeah. But this was my blackest moment. And just the whole scene. I think I watched it a couple of times.
I did. I watched it twice.
Because he called him, what did he say? "Who are you, Uncle?" What did he say? "Captain of complaining" or "King of complaints."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It was this scene was very, very, very dark skinned. I understood what was happening just by the way people were standing. And when he yoked them up, when Corliss went and snatched them up and was like, "I don't care what you think, feel, or want.
Right.
We are going to finish this battle, and you are going to shut the fork up because it's above you." It's above you.
Right.
What you want is way down here. I like it. I
also like that they bookended this episode with this war. So you start here, and it feels fully formed. We know what's going on, and then we move to the hunt.
Right.
And I've heard that, according to George R.R. Martin, the hunting scene in season 1 of Game of Thrones was the scene that he hated the most, because there was no hunting party. It was just 4 dudes walking in the woods. And this was more in line with what his vision of and what an actual royal hunt would look like. Feasting and lots of people and lots of tents, and then you go out to the hunt. Yeah.
What I actually, that's funny that, because Jade and I, for anybody watching, had a conversation earlier, and I was saying that you can tell that when they were creating the Bible for this show, when they were creating the laying out the scenes and the story for this, that they were actually probably watching the audience's reactions to season 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones and responding in real time to all the things that they hated. That did not work. So it's funny that you said that. But what I actually liked about the way this was laid out, and it's what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, they moved through time so smoothly. Mm-hmm. They moved the story forward so smoothly. It's easy, and setting it with this years long war and this hunt, and the reason for the hunt was it was a seamless way to move us through the story and to get us that. And that's, this is what I'm not liking about that other show that shall remain nameless right now. But this scene helped us move forward. It did not meander.
Right. No, it didn't. And okay, so we see Alicent holding the baby, and I moved too fast. There we go. Holding the baby, and then always touching the belly to remind us that she is pregnant with child. I know how Ray, I'm just going to start calling her Ray. I know how Ray feels about her. How do you feel about Alicent in episode 3?
I'm starting to feel bad for little Alicent. I believe that she was not naive in being in cahoots with her father. I believe when her father told us the assignment, she understood it. She took it on. But I think we're starting to see that she didn't really know what she was taking on.
Right.
And I felt it was genuine, that she truly did not want to hurt her friend. Mm-hmm. I felt that she's in this episode trying to plead and put herself in Rhaenyra's space as a friend. Like, none of this was about hurting you.
Right.
And so I'm starting to feel like she's starting to realize that she's a pawn, because we've moved forward 3 years. So they were married and she was pregnant for 9 months, and the baby is 2, and she's pregnant again. So they were 15. So she's 18 years old.
And still a child. And now realize this is not all it is cracked up to be.
That being the queen looked glamorous from the outside.
Right. Oh, we have someone in the comments. Desmond. Hey! Hello, Desmond. In the comments.
How dare you speak to us and you are not here? How dare you, Desmond?
Okay, so we've got Alicent, and then we see some Lannisters.
We meet some Lannisters.
So the first one that we meet is Tyland. They're played by the same actor. Tyland has got the short hair, and he has the news about what's happening in the Rivermark, and things are not going well. And Viz is all, don't nobody bring me no bad news. That's all I heard.
King soft and squishy. King baked potato. King moist and fluffy.
I just want to drink my wine and celebrate my son. I don't want to hear any bad news.
Okay, so now I guess we learn out that he's been drunk for 3 years at this point.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because he kept cup. Yeah, he was just the cup. He was always with a cup in hand.
Right.
And probably because, we see he's wearing gloves, I think. Well, he's losing body parts.
Yeah. He's got the grayscale, the monkeypox. What does he have?
He's got whatever he has, the cuts from the throne, and probably I don't know, some kind of infection from putting fire on dirty, bloody swords and then sitting on them. I'm sure that that is an infection just waiting to happen.
Yes, absolutely.
But yeah, no, that's just nasty. But so Thailand is the first one, and then this one is Jason.
Jason is Mr. Slicky McSlickster.
Yes.
Mr. Hey Mama, I can make a house for your dragon.
Yeah, he thought he was smooth, and she real quick shut him down. But I was interested in this whatever it is, pole arm. I don't know what you call it. It's got a pointy end, and it's got a gold pointy end because the Lannisters still have some gold at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was an interesting little touch in there to remind us that they once upon a time had some gold.
And we're very, very, very wealthy.
Mm-hmm. And
the Lannisters.
He said his pride had pride.
That was funny.
That was a good line.
That was a really good line.
Okay, so we got her already. Now, Ray and Sir Cole. She is extremely pouty in this episode.
Yeah, she was borderline irritating. If I didn't agree with her why she was pouting, I wouldn't have been able to stomach her.
I appreciated the scene of her writing in her book by the tree, and the man playing the lute or whatever he was playing, and she just on repeat, play it again. Her
like, I will listen to the same song. It was a very teenage moment. I think that's the other reason I have patience for these girls in this show that I don't have in the other shows, because they've made it clear to us that they're children.
Right.
We know that she's 18. She's a kid. And she's doing her, what was that from Cosby Show? When Sandra was in the room singing, "The flowers have died, there's no more to do." The crickets, no love songs like that. She's having that moment for this whole episode.
Because, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to take a moment to point out that Sir Cole is fine, and I completely understand why she can't get him out of her eyeballs when she's looking at the rest of these frogs and ducks. Sir Cole is fine.
This is true. This is true. I mean, and he is kind, and he is he's already her companion. They talk, so she's comfortable with him, and he's intelligent. She can have a conversation with him, and he's exciting because he can fight.
He's brave. He's an actual soldier.
Right. And I love the fact that she killed that boar. Now, the boar on top of her was a little weird because it did things I didn't think a boar would do. It did a lot of, but, and not a lot of, but whatever. We get the point. She was in danger. And she took out her aggression on the boar.
And she was so much better after that. She was.
Yeah. And she wasn't, and the fact that she came in bloodied with this boar, she brought in her own hunt, her own kill. She brought it in herself. They could clearly see she did it because Cole didn't have no blood on him.
It certainly didn't. You just walking behind her like, well, I was just there.
Right.
Just, in case. I was back up.
And to put that up against what her father does.
Oh, God. His hunt was bad. He couldn't even stab the thing. He was weak.
Right. What did I say?
It was the wrong boar. It was the wrong elk.
Right. It was the wrong color, which was a bad omen. It took him 2 tries to kill it. And that made me remember um, Tully when the dad died. And he had to shoot the arrow, and he kept shooting the arrows, and then the blackfish came and just shot the one and then walked away and set the daddy on fire.
Yeah. Talk to the people, because you have to remind me, what is the significance of the white elk?
The white elk was an indication that this was a royal, a person of royal, not just birth, but righthood. Like they were the right person.
And
I guess called by the gods.
And Rhaenyra is the one that sees the white elk.
Right. See, got him right there.
He's so cute.
And he came to her.
Yep.
She wasn't seeking him out.
Yep.
And he looked at her. And she looked at him. And she told Cole, no, leave it alone.
Because if she had brought the white elk back to the hunt, it would have been a whole different situation. Like the story would have gone left really quick.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what they would have said or done.
Oh well, I mean, then the plots on King Squishy's life would have just commenced.
Right. Yeah. Because they already respect her.
Right. The plots on his life would have commenced. They would have killed him. She would have ascended the throne. And then they would have gone to war to try to unseat her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think would have happened.
Oh, well.
But, look at this.
I'm not going to keep it there for long. Okay. This crab man is nasty. According to the book, because he's in the book, but he doesn't have grayscale in the book. And I thought he had a crown on, and so the grayscale was overtaking his crown that he never removed. But then some other people on the YouTubes pointed out that is actually that golden mask that the Sons of the Harpy have in the place over there with the brown peoples.
Okay.
That Danny was freeing, all the free cities.
Yeah.
Right. That was a nice callback.
I can't wait to get to episode 4 and talk about the callback to the free cities.
Okay, we're almost there because my doctor, the 11th Doctor, Damon, gets word from his brother that he is going to help. For a minute, I didn't understand. Why is he so angry? Oh, because he don't want his help. Not now.
Right.
Not but
he needs his help.
And
so he's like, he swallowed it after he beat that man to death. Like, really, you killed the messenger, bro. Right?
And I saw somebody point out this is why they started using ravens. That's why they started using ravens. Okay, so let's just go back. All right, so episode 3, second of his name. Did you have another favorite moment that we didn't talk about?
Oh, the crab boil, the actual crab boil, the royal crab boil, when the dragon comes in and just burns everything up, and they all come out, and all of them get smoked, and those beautiful black men in those dreadlights are cutting people's faces off, and it made me so happy. And then Damon went into the cave. It was like, haha, it's me and you, bro. And then David came out with half of the crab man and his guts, and I was like, The war is over.
Right. That was nasty. It was great though. It was great.
It was a great battle.
And the way that they used those dragons, the way that he drew them out, first of all, coming and holding up the sword like he's gonna surrender.
Mm-hmm.
And then running through and cutting down man after man after man and entrails. It was brutal, but it wasn't it's this show is so different than Game of Thrones because even the violence is handled differently. It was bloody and it was war and it was, swords cutting people in half, but it wasn't as gory as Game of Thrones. It didn't feel the same.
It wasn't gratuitous and performative. It was we're at war.
Right.
And so we're going to have this battle. The battle was maybe 3 minutes long. If this was Game of Thrones and a lot of other shows like this and movies like this, the battle is 79 minutes. Like,
yes.
How long is it going to take you to take this mug's head off? Like, they don't linger on the violence.
Right. Right.
And it's more about the violence is moving us forward. And again, that's what has been my joy so far with this season. Everything is about moving the story forward. It's not for a moment. It's not there's no circle jerking. Like, it's not like the director and the producers and RR are running around trying to appease themselves. Like, oh, we have this money, we can do this thing. They do it for a reason. So that's it.
Okay. Ready to go to episode 4? All right. I have far fewer pictures for episode 4. So I'm just going to do this little quick summary right here. All right. So after conquering all but 2 of the islands, Daemon declared himself king of the Stepstones and the Narrow Sea, being crowned by Uncle Corlys, the sea snake. Rhaenyra and Alicent reflect on their lives and futures. We're going to talk about that part right there. Daemon spends some quote-unquote time with his niece, and Viz makes a decision. I didn't even know he had it in him. Okay. So where do we want to start here?
Phew. So Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
We want to start with Rhaenyra and because something happened in her courtship moment that I think is going to come back. And you'll have to tell me because you've read the books.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Well, not on here, but later.
Okay. So she is on a tour to find a husband because her father told her that he wants her to be happy. Oh, that was another thing that happened in episode 3. The Littlefinger Prime, the whispering in the king's ear, getting on his nerves. Like, why did you think I was going to name Aegon? I've already picked one. Do you think I'm just doing this all willy-nilly?
Right.
Yeah, he was starting to get on his nerves then.
Yeah, he was.
But tells Rhaenyra that he wants her to be happy. So go find yourself a husband. Okay.
Right.
So this is her find a husband tour. And the old man.
Baby, that read was so deep. That read was so deep.
That was.
She was like, well, so was my great grandmother as beautiful as they say she was?
That was 50 years ago.
Yeah, it was 50 years ago. And then this mug, that wasn't nice. That was uncalled for. It's uncalled for somebody older than my father trying to be with me.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. The nerve of him. I said, oh, that's one of the best reads. That was a medieval read. I was like, oh.
Is this in contention for one of the blackest moments?
Listen, I felt like I understood what she was saying very clearly from a spiritual and cultural perspective. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
She was like,
and so now what do you think is the moment that's going to come back?
Um, the the fight between the young lord
Mm-hmm.
and the older lord that was taunting him, that he ended up killing.
Yeah, he killed that man.
I think that young man is going to be, and Rhaenyra liked him. She
Mm.
was like, he's a kid, but he was talking, and I think there's a line or something. She mumbled something like, "Oh, more of that. Okay, I like him." Like he amused her,
Right. And
and
he
then
could take care of himself.
so I feel like he's gonna show up in some sort of battle on her. I feel like she's gonna call when her crown comes into question. His peoples will be there.
And I'm sorry, I do not remember his name or the other
I don't
man's
either.
name. Yeah, so.
I don't either. I don't even think they said the other one's name. But he's very dead now, so we'll never find out.
Oh, he was squirting. It was
Like
squirting.
that's an injury you could barely live through in
Yeah.
these young anesthetic times. And
Mm-mm.
you could that was no now he was dead.
Yeah, no. He's
The
very
the
dead.
infect the infection from that sword alone was
Right.
going to kill him.
Yes. Because hand washing practices, I'm sure, are not great.
Nah.
So, all right. Ray and Allie have a few moments in this episode, and we come back to them and the lives that they are leading and the futures that they saw for themselves not being what they thought a few times. And these stories are just teetering back and forth and back and forth.
They're 19 now. So a year has passed since Rhaenyra was given, so go find you a husband. And it's taken, and I don't, and that's one of those things that I don't think people understood. Like, even though this is a fictional time, it took people 8, 9 months, a year to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And
they were to finish a battle after a war. It took Daemon that long to get home.
right. And she cut her tour 2 months short.
Yeah. So they're about 19 years old.
Mm-hmm.
These two girls. Because Daemon says when him and Rhaenyra speak, that it's been 4 years.
So, what do you think Alicent thinks of Rhaenyra and her life?
I feel like she envies it, but she believes but because of the way she was raised and her own fears, she's afraid of it. I think she envies her freedom. She envies the fact that she's not tied to all of this foolishness, but she doesn't believe it's safe for a woman to be that kind of free.
Mm.
By this point, I feel like Alicent really has moved back into alignment with Rhaenyra. I feel like they are sisters again.
Yeah, because I think that although in the beginning she may not have realized what she was saying to Alicent about, I won't be satisfied with my only role being to produce somebody's babies.
Mm-hmm.
And then she looks at Alicent, she's like, oh, snap.
Oh,
that is your life.
She said, I wouldn't be happy trapped in some man's castle, forced to spew out his heirs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then realize, oh my God.
Yeah, that's my girl. That's what happened to her.
Right. And that realization is what brings them back. Like, okay.
All right, and I think Rhaenyra has such disdain for Littlefinger Prime, the hand, that she has. I think Rhaenyra has, as she's grown up, gained some empathy for her dear friend.
Yeah, yeah, because she can see it now. She's
Mm-hmm.
had 2 children. This is her life. No one is really talking to her. She doesn't really have any friends, and it's a forced smile on her face.
Mm-hmm.
All of this duty and no freedom or fun or joy. She don't look like she's having any fun.
Oh yeah, it's like the makeup is even getting dry. I like whoever is doing hair and makeup for this show. I see the vision because that girl, they have taken the dewy glow out of her skin.
Mm.
She looks like she's 25, 30. She does
Mm-hmm.
not look, and Rhaenyra still looks like she's a kid.
Right, right. Mm-hmm. And Allison was talking to her. Well, this is later, but in a
Mm-hmm.
very stepmotherly fashion.
Yeah.
Very stepmotherly. Yeah. So
Yes.
that's her role. And
Mm-hmm.
she thinks that she can see beyond what Rhaenyra can see. But
Right.
Rhaenyra is just living her best life. Because
This scoundrel, one of the best written characters ever in the history of television.
I tell you, Matt Smith is doing some things in this show.
He is the most lovable scoundrel.
Yes. He
I
is
like an anti-hero. I really do.
he is the new JR.
He is.
Is you love to hate him. Yep.
I don't even hate him.
No.
I actually, he is written so well. I understand him
That's true. That's true. Because I don't hate him.
because he has genuine love for his brother and his niece, but he just doesn't know how to love anybody. He doesn't. He's such a narcissist. He doesn't know how that's supposed to show up.
Mm-hmm. But when he comes back and he has the crown on his head,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes the crown off, and he says all the right things. He bows just low enough. He throws that axe and like add it to the chair. Like, very in the stance of submission. I'm back. You're the king. I'm not trying to start no mess. And I believed him. I mean, it was believable. He seemed humble.
But here's the thing. I believed him when he got kicked out. I think that was real. I think he only has designs on taking his brother's place when he is mad at his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets over being mad at his brother, he tries to figure it out. I think he thought he was giving his brother a proper solution to all the problems. I do. I think the whole thing in town and the city with the drinks and the thing and the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he actually lied and took it farther because it didn't go as far as he said it did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because he checked himself in the moment. This conversation was great, by the way.
Yes. And it's interesting how this up against the scene where he gave her the necklace. It's just mirrors of time.
Mm-hmm.
And he does seem, and she said, you seem more mature.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but then later, the boy's clothes and the map. And she's excited. She doesn't know what's about to happen. This is an adventure because she gets to go on adventures. Allison doesn't get to go on adventures.
Right. And she knows who it's from because it's written in Valerian, and notice that those are the only two that speak the language to each other.
Right. And so, even though it's a made up language and we know that, I still appreciate that they it's more than just a few lines. They
Mm-hmm.
they talk in High Valerian.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
I do
Like
too. I always love a fictional language because I sit there and I go, which language did y'all draw from for this one?
that.
And
Mm-hmm.
this one is very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is dramatic. Meow
Yep.
meow.
That's probably why I
Um,
like it.
but what he tells her is in this conversation and then takes her out to show her is you got to separate duty from your life. This is
Mm-hmm.
how I have survived in this ridiculous, stupid, oppressive world. I had to separate duty from my life. So you got
Mm-hmm.
to go do your duty. But that doesn't mean you don't have to have a life.
Mm-hmm. And then he shows her
Oh,
another way to
Lord.
live.
A whole new world. Those things to see. That's
But
what he did.
so they're in King's Landing in what do they call it? Flea,
I
not
can't
Flea
remember.
Bottom. I don't remember.
Something
Anyway,
bottom. It's something
Flea is
bottom.
it Flea Bottom? I don't know. I don't
I
know.
can't remember.
Anyway, he takes her to the brothels,
Mm-hmm.
and everything is just so different than Game of Thrones. Those sex scenes were so different because they're from the perspective of a woman, and you see women having pleasure.
Mm-hmm. Not just
It
being used,
not just
not
being used.
not just being bandied about, but actually enjoying themselves.
Yes. Now, his time with his niece was also very interesting in that once he started and then she responded in kind, he couldn't do anything
He
else.
couldn't do it. He couldn't do it.
Mm-mm.
He couldn't do it.
No, but he awoke something in the dragon. He awoke something in the dragon because then she found what's his name, Mr. Cole.
Whew.
I just
Girl,
wrote
now
that
let me
down.
tell you what was so fascinating about this scene for me. Because they did something. This is why I love when a writer actually takes control of their story. Because I know the writer demanded this happen. It was medieval times. Them people had on 29 layers of clothing.
Hmm.
Wasn't nobody getting naked super quick.
No.
How we get to all of these sex scenes that are rushed in this time
Hmm.
period is ridiculous. The fact that they actually took the time for that man to get to sexually get out of his armor,
Hmm.
and then they both had to take the time to unfasten their boots.
Yeah, because it's a
I was
lot of
like, it's
clothes.
little
It's a
stuff.
it's a lot of clothes.
I was like, it's little stuff. It's little stuff, and I'm fairly certain that that's the writer is like, we got to see all of that.
Right.
I want to see him. I want to see her seduct him out of his armor.
Yeah. And they're not clothes that you can just rip off. Anybody gonna
No,
rip them clothes off? You know how long it take to make spun cotton and to make a shirt, and
and
everything is laced.
everything is laced. There are no buttons. There were
There
no
are no buttons.
fasteners.
No, no.
Do you know how many layers of clothes women would have on?
Mm-hmm.
And all of it had something laced like 29 inches up the back.
Yes. And so she has on boys' clothes, so she can get out quick. She can still got them boots,
She
but
still had those boots.
he's got bracers, he's got pauldrons, he's got all kinds of stuff that all that stuff has to be taken off.
And then once he got out of that, he still had a full set of clothes on, of underclothes on, because you can't have that stuff right on your skin.
No.
So he had a full set of thick layers of cotton long johns.
And what I really thought about in that moment was they know what they're doing, because that scene took a long time.
It really did.
So it wasn't something spontaneous that they did. They knew what they were doing.
Yep.
He knew he was breaking his vows, and she knew she was going to be seen as sullied if anybody found out.
And it was okay. By the time he got out of that last pair of knickers, it was fine.
Yep.
And they had a nice old good old romp. Juxtaposed. Can we go back a little bit with the juxtaposition of that night, the way it started for Alicent and Rhaenyra? So that night starts with all of the servants lighting the candles for the castle. So they're all light all the candles. Again, little details that fascinate me. Do you understand that every night at dusk they had to light hundreds of candles for this big ass grand? So they dispatching the candles out, and you hear this baby screaming, and the camera pans to poor Alicent standing in there in the window with the baby just hollering, and the look on her face. And the next thing we see is Rhaenyra bounce into her room.
Do freeze a bird.
Good night. Taking off the earrings. What? An adventure. Let's go. Wine, drinking out a medieval flask. Leather flask. Watching the play. Stealing some bread. Running around.
Yeah.
Back to Alicent doing the sponge bath on the grayscale on the old man.
Oh my gosh. And so he's lost some fingers. And then you see, oh my gosh. Yeah. Keep going.
So then we're back to Rhaenyra's room, and she's playing tiddlywinks with the fine man, the fine young man. He takes off his armor. Look at his chest. Sexual relations. Relations are my choice. Right. And then we're back to Alicent. Your Majesty, request your presence.
The hour is late.
The hour is late, and the handmaid goes, well, sucks to be you. And then we see Rhaenyra, sexual relations, having a good time. Ooh, yeah, top, bottom. And then it's back to Alicent laying there like a dead fish, like in the color purple.
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
waiting for Mister to get on top of me and do his business.
Oh my God.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought about.
Yes.
I just let Mr. Climbs on top of me and do his business. I was like, oh.
That sounds like going to the toilet on.
That's what it feels like. That's what Alicent's face looked like. I was like, ooh wee.
You didn't know you were going to get scenes from A Color Purple in here too.
Listen. Sometimes I have to, pull The Color Purple out.
It applies.
Because that's literally the first thing I thought about. I was like, oh my God. Oh, no, yes, mister.
Okay, so yes, and we see his back and all the sores on his back. And I thought about Henry VIII in that moment.
Yes, and when the last wife, I can't remember which wife was the last wife. That was like
Jane.
It was Jane.
Seymour.
Jane. Was Jane the last wife? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I don't remember.
She's the one that could not. She was like, I can't stand the smell of him. He's rotten.
Because that was the young one. That was the young one.
Yeah, the young one, the last one. she was like, I'm not. Every time she went near him, she got nauseous.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Allison, the.
That was Catherine Howard. Yeah. Didn't know you was gonna get real history in here too.
Listen.
It all applies. It all applies. But yeah, no, the sores on his back. He's losing fingers. Now here's the thing. Littlefinger Prime.
Mm-hmm.
He may have overstepped.
Oh, he absolutely overstepped.
Just a little bit.
Oh, he overstepped.
And I didn't think Viz had it in him.
But one of the things that we know from episode 1 is no matter how bad Rhaenyra gets on his nerves,
Mm-hmm.
she is daddy's little girl.
Right.
He said that we found that out episode 1 that he's up front. You are the best of your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And he loved her mama.
Right. He did. He still loves her. He
will go to the grave mourning that woman.
Yes.
And he will. So that your daughter was expendable, bruh. But this is like, mine is not.
Mm-hmm. That juxtaposition. I'm not gonna do that to my daughter. Although that's exactly what you did to your daughter.
Cause I don't know if I thought I was the only person that heard that subtext.
Mm-hmm. No, I heard that one.
You thought cause that boy came out of your child that I was gonna shit on my child.
Right.
Like bang bang. So he ran his old tricking ass up. I hate to say it, King. I heard something about your daughter and your brother.
The two people he loves the most.
Oh, and did you see? Oh, wait, way back, just real quick. The way Damon looked at the hand when after he genuflected to the king and bowed down and all that, and the hand was sitting over there looking stupid, and he looked like.
Right. Yeah.
Damon was like,
right. You'll never have what I have.
He was like, you thought you could come between me and my brother.
Because Viserys loves his brother. He loves his daughter. He loved his wife. He's squishy king.
Mm-hmm.
But we know where his heart is. So if you have some information that's not going to sit right about either one of those people, you need to tread carefully. And Otto didn't.
And Otto should have followed his first mind and held that in his back pocket.
That would have been a Cersei move.
And I could not figure out. I was like, why is he telling him this? This is dumb. Do you think that boy being you having a grandson, that's his? Do you think that at any point is gonna get that kid on the throne, bruh? Do you know how many people you gonna have to go through to get that little boy on the throne?
Yeah, no. But because he's being pressured by his brother.
Half the people he got to go through ride dragons.
Don't mess with the people that ride the dragons.
And now the girl that ride the dragon is about to marry the boy that ride the dragon.
Oof. It's the setup.
So you ran your silly behind up in there. And I was proud of this. He said, say it plain, partner.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
Say what you gonna say it. Well, he was like, ooh, look how I feel your motives. I don't believe you. Get out.
Right. And who told you? Because that is treason.
I can't reveal my source. Okay, well, reveal your way out of my chamber.
Right.
Let this doorknob reveal itself to you, partner.
And I'm sure Otto thought he was safe after that. I'm sure he thought, okay, this will be like the other times. He'll
He's
run
just
hot and then
mad.
he'll be
Right.
fine. And then, Allison, did you talk to her? Did you ask her any questions?
These scenes of when Allison got my I'm back. We
Mm-hmm.
cool with her. Now we cool with her.
Right.
Cause she didn't say anything in the moment. She just put on her dress. She put
Right.
on her queenly royal purple,
Mm-hmm.
went out to the garden,
Right.
told them, go get my homie. Go get my stepdaughter.
Right. 'Cause that's what she is. And she talked to her like a stepmother. They talking about you.
And I don't like it. They
Oh
ain't
my
talking about
God.
you and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like nothing about it. And she was like,
Yeah.
but she was like, you better tell me the truth. It wasn't even like that. I just had went and had some drinks and stuff, and then I had seen a show, and that's all it was.
But then she said, he didn't touch me. Now,
She
you
was like,
lying about that.
you better tell me if y'all had the sexual relations. Do I really have
Oh.
to answer that? She talked about, she didn't say that. She told her, look at her like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
no, I am still pure. She was like, I'm
She
going to believe
lies.
this lie you telling me. I'm going
Yeah.
to believe it.
Yeah. She lies
Cause you,
well.
she was like, I'm going to believe you.
I mean, she's telling the truth. She didn't sleep with Damon.
No, she didn't. She did not lie. And she didn't lie. They did go to some brothels. She did
Mm-hmm.
see a show. They watched the
Mm-hmm.
whole play about
Mm-hmm.
her. She did not lie.
Right.
She said she had
Yeah.
some drinks. She did not lie. She had cocktails.
Now he did touch her, but I mean, he didn't touch her
He didn't
fully.
he didn't break the hymen.
No.
He did not break the hymen. Okay.
No, he did not.
So she was like, look, all right, I believe you. I got your back. They fist bumped over it. They bruh nodded about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hippo Damon, he just drunk. He was just trying to get home. He had to sleep it off at his ex-hoe's house.
And so now she has a different role in the story. And I don't know that we fully know what her role is, but she's not at, what did they call it? The pillow house?
Right. No, she has an inn now. Like that's her little, she has a little inn.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably just a little, like a little one night motel for the what you call them.
Right.
Oh, girl. We missed it a part of the story.
What?
We missed the blackest moment.
What?
We gotta stop right here.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Hold on. What is the blackest moment in episode 4? Yes.
So they was all sitting around the table after David had did all this conquering and everything before the unfortunate brothel incident of 11/11, whatever year that was. And they can't get Corliss's name out their mouth.
He's not even in the episode.
He's not in the episode, but that black man lives rent-free in them white men's mind. And then, so the white men are like, I think Corliss might still be crunchy. Why didn't he come back here? Why would he go? What is he doing? Oh, is he still mad? Well, he can't be mad. That was 4 years ago. And dude was like, oh, but I had heard on a whisper that he was out here commiserating with the other sea baron. And then a whole table collectively goes, oh, they trying to organize the free cities, aka the black people. That's what we learned in Game of Thrones. The free cities is the Negroes and the Latinos and the indigenous and anybody of color.
All the BIPOC people live in the free cities.
And so the hand goes, if he done married his daughter, he's married his daughter, who is now 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. He's married his 16-year-old daughter off to the king, the other one of these kings in the free cities. If he get out here and organize the free cities, man, we have to solidify our whiteness. And the onlyest way to do that, the onlyest way to do that is to marry for real. We need us an arranged marriage too.
Right.
Now what we gonna do?
Because that's what they do in the first place.
And this is why it's the blackest moment. This is what white people have been doing for millennia. Sitting around with black folks living rent-free in their minds, scared that the black people might coalesce and get some power.
That is your blackest moment in episode 4.
That is my blackest moment in episode 4.
Yes.
It was so black, the black people weren't even there.
They weren't even there. That is true form. That is the true mark.
I was riveted by that conversation. I was like,
yeah.
This is so familiar.
Yeah, scared about what he's going to do. What is he thinking? Why didn't he come? Who is the girl going to marry? Well, what's the son going to do? Well, we need to marry the son then. That's what you should have done in the first place. Just what you should have done in the first place.
So yes, child, that was fun. Like when he said, "I'm gonna take Allison as my wife," but hey, why don't you and Rhaenyra and your boy should hook up, and then we can solidify these households.
Right. That would have been a smart thing. But he didn't do that.
He didn't do that. But anyway, okay, so let's go back. Right. So poor Damon is coming home from.
Yeah, I wonder if I can't think of her name, Missaria, something like that, Missy. I wonder if Missy is got something more than just an in. I wonder if she is also collecting whispers. Because that little boy came in. The little boy came in and gave her something.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm certain she knows everything. I'm certain she is like the the dressmaker in Bridgerton.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Fairly certain that's a role she's playing in the society. She's offering a service that people need, but she's also checking boxes.
Right. And that's how she knew he was running around and probably laying in a gutter somewhere drunk, and then brought him back in because he didn't know where he was.
He had no clue where he was or how he got. Poor David just tried to get back into the castle. Then they dragging him in.
Oh man!
And they throw him in there, and here come his brother with his 8 fingers, mad.
But again, he is not lying. I mean, maybe a little, but just marry her to me. Just give her to me. I mean, very clear of his intention.
Right. He didn't, and this is the reason I believe everything he said when he showed up. Because in that moment, he was like, I would let my brother believe this lie about me to keep my niece from being unhappy. Because if she married me, I'm probably never going to get up the energy to have her. And she can be the queen or whatever. She can be the princess. She can have whatever. We can consolidate all this Valerian blood. We might have one baby. I might do it once to have an heir. And then we get to step. But maybe he can't even. Because you see, they talked earlier about how he ain't put no baby in that woman. Right. And he didn't say it wasn't because he hadn't had her. He said her womb would not produce.
Right. So, and Missy didn't have a baby either.
So he's like, listen, he's trying to let his brother know, we can all have our cake and eat it too. I think he was sincere about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's very forthcoming with what he thinks and what he wants. He don't mince words. He just very plainly give it to me. I mean, he getting beat up. Viz is kicking him.
Yeah,
and letting him.
and he's too drunk to fight. And here's the truth: I think if he was sober, he wouldn't have fought.
Right. No.
He has no desire to fight his brother.
I don't know that he wants to fight anymore. Because he did seem heavier when he came back.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he wants to fight anymore. Well,
I think what
for the moment.
what he gained out on that in the battle and leaving and trying to slight his brother by going into that war anyway. I think he gained perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think he gained perspective
Okay.
on what his brother might, the differences when you know you're going to be the king, and the kind of like King Charles III.
Oh my Lord, because there is a new king in town.
Oh, we have to talk about that, James. Because the Caribbeans is mad and they about to leave. Anyway,
everybody's mad. Ireland is mad. Australia's mad.
They about to leave. The Scottish are the only ones that are like, well, we can wait a few months. Everybody else is like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I was only here because we like her. We're out.
No,
it's about to be bad. But anyway, so then he kicks his brother out. We know he's not gone forever.
No. He's just going to sleep it off. And then he goes to Rhaenyra.
Oh, this was such a good scene. It was a good scene.
It was a good scene. You will do your duty, and you will do yours.
Sir. Sir.
You know what you need to do. Oh my God.
Because Damon helped Rhaenyra unlock the key to happiness in this lifestyle. She was like, oh, he young too. He a warrior in best. And he ride dragons. Like, I saw it all go across her face. She was like, yeah, that's not the worst idea.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. I might even be able to have relations with him because he young and he ride the dragons.
Auntie Rhaenys, she cool. She came at me, but she cool.
I was young. I might have got slick. I got slick at the mouth with her. That's what I saw. All of that happen in Rhaenyra's face. She was like, yeah, and Uncle Corlys, he always bigging me up. And he does.
He did. Mm-hmm.
He bigged her up twice.
Yeah, he said, you, at least she got a plan.
So now we're starting to see the alliances form because the House of Valerian will have her back.
Yes.
For selfish reasons.
Uh-huh.
Whoever that little boy is with the sword, whoever his people are, they gonna be down. The free cities are going to be down with Corlys and them. With Uncle Corlys and his Hennessy. You know who that character... Do you know who Shannon Sharp is?
Yes.
That's who that character reminds me of. Like Corlys would smoke a Black and Mild and wear a do-rag to the barbecue.
He would.
He really would.
And he would want his meat. He would want his meat extra cooked.
He need his steak cooked well done. Well done.
Yes.
So
are we at the last scene?
Well, Rhaenyra tells him
yeah.
But no, before he has that conversation with Rhaenyra, that's when Alicent says, "Did you talk to her?"
Right.
After he beats his brother up, she's like, "Did you talk to her?" And he was like, "No." She said, "Well, I talked to her." And she ain't lying. And he was like, "You believe it?" She was like, "You don't know my daughter. She ain't innocent. My daughter played too much." She said, "What I do know is your brother ain't never told the truth ever." That's what I do know. I know your brother would know the truth if it ran up and bit him in the back of the ankles.
Yes. A lot of reading going on.
And then, after all of that, Oh, come on.
The hand is the hand no more.
Ooh, he took his pen.
He took that pen cold off his shirt. Oh my God.
But you know what I liked? He was like, basically, this is my paraphrase of Vincent's speech. He said, so, bruh, I was reflecting on some things.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. My granddaddy.
And I recall it took you 5 days to switch around, move around, chess piece, move stuff, and get yourself where you at.
Yes, he was the hand for 5 days.
I recall that it was only 5 days, and you managed to get rid of, dispatch, and do all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look up in my grief, and I'm in the marital bed with your daughter.
Right.
Bro, let's examine this. This is what I heard him say. I don't know what he said. Actually, he said, let's look at the optics.
Right.
So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was in my grief. You showed up with a lover.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you have vested interest in my heir.
Right.
And some kind of magical way, you have had somebody see and follow my daughter and my brother, and you have proof that I have not been given because you protected your sources.
Right.
So let's put a button on this.
Mm-hmm.
Your compromise, pimp.
I didn't think he had that in him.
I didn't think it was going to go down like that either. But once you get to 8 fingers, I guess you start seeing like,
yeah, I got to start making some moves. And he did. Now, the question is, how much longer is he going to live?
well, in the previews for the next scene, for the next episode, they like, the king about to die. So I'm like, ooh, they escalated quickly.
Yeah.
They escalated quickly.
And there's only one more episode with the young Rhaenyra and the young Alicent. So we're about to, after this next week, we're about to jump forward some years. So.
But yes, honey. Oh, and then her daddy sent her the abortion tea.
Yeah. I was like, don't drink that. And I thought, I would go ask some questions. Make sure.
She knew what it was because her and her father, they have a language.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said, I'll do what you asked me to do, I'll do this marriage. You do what I need you to do. And when her father did it, now they're back in alignment.
Yeah. But they didn't say what it was, but we know what it is. It's the moon tea. It's got to be the moon tea. It's not. Yeah, it has to be the moon tea.
All right, girl. Well, that's the episode, sis.
That's it. What would you score episode 3 and episode 4 of House of the Dragon?
I'm 4.5 right across. Actually, no, 4.5 for 3 and 4 is a 5 for me.
4, so 4.5 and then 4.
No, I'm sorry. 4.5 then 5.
Oh, okay. Oh, and a 5. You gave it a 5.
Just because it like I like it when it get to popping. They pop.
The political intrigue is good. It's very good. I would have to say episode 3, 4.5 is fair. That's fair. Oh no. You know what? I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm gonna give it a 5. That white stag, I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay.
And then episode 4, that's a 5. I'm both 5s.
I am I feel like I have been fulfilled.
Yep.
I am looking forward to next week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How many episodes is in this season?
I think it's 10.
Oh,
I think it's 10. So we're almost halfway there.
My heart will not be able to take it, Shug.
Yeah. All right. So we'll be back next week with episode 5. Carlos Stillwellian.
Yes.
Where can the people find you?
On the Instagram, the Twitters, in the Twitter streets, and on the Facebook. I'm primarily on the Facebook. I'm at Carla Stillwell or at Miss Stillwell on all of those things.
All right. So afroscapescurls.com. This Friday, we have a special showing of The Woman King at Alamo Drafthouse, if you are local. The Alamo Drafthouse in Midtown. We will be there at 7 p.m. The happy hour is 4:30 to 5:30 as we gather to get ready to go into the movie. See the movie at 7, and then there is a gathering afterwards to discuss the movie at Alamo Drafthouse. And also, AfroCon is coming. So get your tickets. Get your tickets. October 7th and 8th. All right. I think that is it for us for today. Thank you very much. I hope that Mick has played all the games and that Desmond has sorted all of the books. Because
play the game, sort the book.
Because we are out. Thank you very much. Bye.